to game 3. Mo, what are we going to see a Sven again? Is that the difference here?
Hopefully
Is
not.
that what we need?
I'd like to see this Bloodseeker again for EHOME. I think they played really well with it. I don't know if it's going to get let through or not, though. It'll be interesting to see. Oh, so LGD have first pick again, which is the big thing here. So would they go for the leaner again, or what do they want to go for something different? Like, I think Undying, making an entrance could be something for them, potentially. I think Innocence struggled to have game impact that last game on the Oracle as well. You know, there's not a huge amount he did wrong, but like that laning stage didn't go great. They didn't really get going. And I think the Undying's just like a safer pick. Oh, they banned the Techies first phase again. Wow.
Poor ban.
So the Lena pick does come out again. I don't think we can look at that last game necessarily and say, well, obviously, like we can't look at that last game and say like Lena was the problem. There was a lot of problems that went wrong for LGD. So
yeah,
they go back for what they think is good again, which is fine. What do we want to go for here? Do they want to go like Wind Ranger Bloodseeker again? Because the problem is if they pick like Wind Ranger here, for example, LGD might take the Bloodseeker for themselves.
Yeah. So do you just take the Bloodseeker?
They're probably thinking, is there a different direction they want to go with their draft? Like, is there something different they want to do overall?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they went just into the Bloodseeker. And now Magnus for LGD. Okay.
So do you take the Omni Knight? Do you take the Wind Ranger?
Do you take Sven yourself?
Do you take the Sven? Yeah, you could do. Actually, I can see them taking this Sven. Actually, that's a good point. I think if they don't take it here, then they'll probably be unhappy about, how the... Oh, they take Wyvern. This is cool because we talk about this Wyvern against Mag all the time, right? Being this hero that, like, does okay against it. But Wyvern's a bit of a weak laner, and it's not a hero that teams have liked playing. Like, and picking into Magnus in general. And I wonder if Fade or X Nova play this hero. Because Wyvern as a 4 or a 5 is pretty cool. I know one of the EU teams played it at mid recently as well. I think Yellow Symborine played it at mid when they had a stand-in, which was quite funny. They won the game.
What was the build? Was it like first item Orchid?
I turned off after the draft because I had to go and do something else, but I know, disappointing. But you would never have known if I didn't tell you, so you should feel enriched by the knowledge.
I think I knew inside.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. It's disappointing.
I wonder what they pick with the mag, though. They ban PA even though they have Bloodseeker with the Rupture. That's interesting. Yeah, they take the Sven.
I wonder if that jumped EHOME's odds. We were talking about that in the first game.
I think going for the Sven makes sense, though. Obviously, when you know you're playing against this mag-empowered carry hero, you want to make sure your carry can keep up. They have 3 strong heroes at the moment on EHOME as well, which I really like. Do Faith Behind usually play the mag? Or I think Nothing to Say plays it quite often, doesn't he? So they have that flexibility between them. I imagine Innocence can probably play it as a 5 if he really needs to, but I think it's more likely going to be a 2 or 3 for them, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of 5-position Magnus. Not that my call is what makes a team go for 5 Magnus or not, but to me, I always think the impact is so much less when it's in the 5 position, right?
You're skewering Bloodseeker under tower at level 1. I think that sounds fun.
I guess. Shockwave skewer level 2.
So they have 2 ways of doing this. They can either pick their 1 hero to play with the mag, or they can pick their 5 hero, which is going to be laning against Bloodseeker, right? Like, this Undying is still in the pool if they want to go for it, but it's not a great laner against Bloodseeker. Maybe like this Elder Titan or like Clockwork, for example, as well. I think Clockwork, not great against Wyvern, obviously, but could be really good at like disrupting the backline and things.
Mm-hmm.
But again, not a great laner against Bloodseeker. So, how do you want to approach it? What's the Arctic Burn slow at level 1 on the Wyvern?
So they go to the Undying.
So they do take it. Okay. Arctic Burn slow at level 1 is 22%. So it's still pretty good. If you put it as the POS 4, you can lane it with the Bloodseeker, I think. And you'd still be able to pretty reliably get the blood right off.
Mm-hmm.
Taking your glasses off, things getting serious now. So you take your jacket off and you're like, hell yeah.
I could do that too. It's time to get into it.
Up.
Here we go.
Big Up, it's not this kind of show.
It's Storm Spirit coming out. I'm ready. Jacket's off. It's not really a jacket anyway. It's just like a thin. But oh, okay. I'll put it back on. I don't look that good. I see how it is. I actually can't even see. I'm gonna put this. You can't what?
Sorry.
I can't even see. Just I had to clean my glasses. I had like a gross smudge, but then you called me out for it. I was just doing it quietly on screen, you know.
Oh, you know.
Nobody needs to know.
I'm not letting you get away with anything. It's fine. I don't really have any tombstone hitters at the moment on EHOME, which might be a bit of a problem.
Yeah,
I guess like they all can, but
could you go SAPPHIRE?
You could. I don't know how good it would be. They need some like early game damage though, so it might be alright.
Mm-hmm.
They need that the hero that like. I mean, I honestly think they could even just go Lesh for themselves. Okay.
Ooh,
this is cool.
I think that's the first Jakiro pick.
I think a Morphling. Morphling Undying.
Oh, the double tombstone. Always fun.
Apart from the time it didn't.
Did that not win? When we saw it the other day? I swear it did.
Was it? Oh, it might have been an EU game I was watching, actually. I can't remember. There was a game, or was it one of the ones we were casting? Where Morphling Undying, he like kept... It was, it was against the Lycan, do you remember? It was against the Lycan TB. And he kept like turning into the Undying and putting another tombstone down, and it just didn't do enough in fights.
Oh, yeah. We were wondering if he was going to turn into the Lycan with Ags.
Yeah.
And then bite his ally. Or if he could do that.
And it never ever did that great. So I think this Jakiro pick's cool, though. Nice to see this coming through. I'd be interested to see which one they put as the 4 and the 5, though. Because I feel like the Wyvern's probably the one you put down, but could be either. I think Bloodseeker with Jakiro is pretty good as well. Like you amp up his spell damage from the Dual Breath and the Macropire. It's pretty good. The Morphling pick's really good, though. I think this is awesome. Like the lane with the Undying is really good. Obviously, you're weak at like level 1 or so, but you shouldn't ever really get hit by the Blood Right because you can waveform away if needed.
Mm-hmm.
Not a great hero with Mag, historically, though, has to be said. Obviously, you don't get that cleave, so maybe a little bit iffy. And they can flex the Morphling between mid and safe lane, though, going into the last pick, which is something. I think they're probably going to pick Faith Beyond Zero last and put the Magnus mid. I think LGD look really good when they're able to pick Faith Beyond Zero last.
Yeah. Well, Faith Beyond's hero pool is usually really strong.
The way to look at it, B-Cup, is that on LGD they can play every hero between more than one person. Because as long as Faith Beyond... Like, I think Faith Beyond plays everything. And then if they can play all the other heroes between the rest of the team, they can flex it all the time between 3 and everything else. He's such a crazy player. I like the Viper ban. It's really good. Does well against Sven and Bloodseeker.
Mm-hmm.
They need some like early game damage output, I think, that like pressures the Sven lane. Which is why something like the Viper is really good.
Ooh.
Yeah, okay. I don't mind that. I think that's pretty good. Again, we've talked about this Slardar against Sven before as well, that I think having that minus armor really helps at dealing with that hero. because he doesn't have a huge amount of armor to work with.
Where the war cry ends up being like putting him back at normal with the corrosive haze on him, right?
But Sven doesn't have a lot of armor to work with, so the fact you're like gaining armor just to be where you were anyway, like you're supposed to have that war cry to give you more so that you can fight these physical damage cores, right? I also
damage
think
over time.
Oh, they go Venno. It's the XM Venno from like. Do you remember that C deck? When he was playing with like OGA and stuff. He used to love, like, he loves playing this Venno whenever he can get away with it. It's just this hero doesn't feel very strong in like so many different cases at the moment, but it's a great Venno game. They have like the Vessel Builder for the Morphling. It lanes up well against Mag. It's Blink Cancel, dropping the wards down all the time against Mag and Slardar. It's just cool. Nice to see a different kind of pick. I also think Bloodseeker Venno is such a ridiculous combo, because if you can drop that Blood Rage, the Spell Amp on him when he drops all his ult and things, it does a lot of AoE magic damage.
This team is a lot of damage over time.
Beacop, is it a new hero as well?
Yeah. 2 new heroes, Jakiro and Venomancer.
Easy. EHOME, not afraid.
No. And with this Sven, I think they have that no fear, you know? I've got Sven. What do I need to be afraid of? Nothing. Literally nothing.
Jakiro is probably one of the better 5 heroes at playing against Slardar in lane as well, because you have that, like... I feel like against melee heroes in general, Jakiro obviously always does really well because of the dual breath. It's going to be about whether... Because he doesn't have that attack range advantage that other heroes do. Maybe if he gets a little bit too close, they can use like LSA into like a Slardar stun, and then they just chase him down and things. But Jakiro's a pretty tanky hero in general. So it should be interesting to see how it does. Like Sven Jakiro. Decent lane.
So,
fun
game
drafts.
Here we go.
Fun
drafts. So, something completely, different from EHOME, which is nice.
Not even just EHOME. It's nice to see LGD playing like this mag mid that we haven't really seen a huge amount of. Morphling's always a fun hero to watch. Is X-Nova going to come and contest this high ground ward?
Touches the heart like my venom.
Does have a sentry? Beacop, what do you think?
No.
I think he's going to de-ward it.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh, they saw Jinky put the ward down. Because Sven put his own. So they know there's a ward there somewhere.
Seconds to battle.
So he's probably going to... Here we go. Here comes X-Nova. With the sentry. What do we think, Beacop?
I'm still going with no. Uh-oh. Oh, he looked that way for a second.
X-Nova, please. I know you can do it. I know you know.
He's just messing around over here.
You're a god among men.
Look at that.
Oh.
The battle
easiest call of my life.
I can't believe you don't believe in X-Nova. That's so rude.
That's not believing in X-Nova. It's just him knowing that he needs that elsewhere.
Yeah, but he had another sentry queued up.
Maybe he's going to de-ward over here. It's a good place to de-ward.
Yeah, he will de-ward there. Because he knows that they have vision there, because Sven saw.
Yeah, so why use the ward anywhere else?
Because he had... Oh, they got the range creep as well. That's actually really good. That's actually really clever. I've never thought about de-warding like that before. Like putting the sentry just then so the range creep pulls away, but not the melee creeps. That's really cool. Oh, this
Southern Crush. And the right clicks from Jinkyu. All of a sudden, SCCC feeling the pressure. LSA, that's going to come in, and both those heroes half health already.
Pot lane as well, Morphling just taking damage.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Oh, they got Undying's courier with the salve on it.
LSA missing. Damage on the Faith Beyond. Dual Breath on cooldown for another 3 seconds, but I expect him to throw it once again.
How's mid lane going? Veno Gaming. Disgusting.
But is it enough? Because Magnus is still doing well.
Magnus is still Magnus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think when you get... We've talked about this better here before, though, that when you get the level 2 Poison Sting, it feels so much better.
Bloodseeker's getting low. Stormhammer thrown now at Jin-Q. And LSA that lands on both the Jakiro as well as the Sven. They get first blood in the top lane. Faith Beyond, for I believe the second time this series, is able to claim first blood.
Interesting. So Mag doesn't have any points in Empower by level 3. Cool. Different builds.
Ooh,
oh my god, Undying.
Non-neutrals.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deny by him considering. Like Morphling's now level 3, so his lane's absolutely fine. He's having a good time. Oh my god, look at Bloodseeker's CS. This Undying's just been running at him non-stop.
Yeah. Salfrex Nova.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Stormhammer as well as the dual breath feels pretty good. That's for sure.
Yeah, correct. It's pretty good, but at the same time you're playing against Lina Slardar, so it's like, well, how good is it really? Like, Lina Slardar's probably still just as good at like trading hits.
Magnus using that bottle mid, filling up. Full health, full mana. Having to deal with this Venomancer. Jin-Q in a bad spot. Dual Breath, Stormhammer, LSA that lands on the Sven. They still have a lot of damage on the Jin-Q, just not enough. Slithering Crush as well as the Bash. SCCC, no more mana. LSA hits, turning this around. LGD might be able to get the kill. They will. Taking out the Sven for the second time.
These two side lanes are not going well for EHOME at all. Chalice on this Bloodseeker is having nowhere near as good of a game as he was last time. This Undying's made it so much harder for him.
Double damage.
Oh, look at this tombstone on the Undying as well. Fade might be in trouble.
Yeah, he's gonna get chased down. I don't think he is gonna survive here. But I say that, he's got the Cold Embrace. XM's nearby, looking over at Innocence, turning this around, and... Well, now Innocence is the one getting chased, and he just gets out.
Does this Arctic Burn hit actually do damage? It's coming towards it. No, it doesn't, okay.
Already a 1k lead for LGD.
Back to the LGD we know.
Basically. Like, Innocence makes that rotation, but Morphling's okay here 1v1.
Yeah, but it's going to free up the Undying to kind of do whatever he wants a little bit more. We're probably going to see some early rotations from him towards the top lane. Around this, probably like 7 to 8 minute mark. He's going to go and try and snatch the bounty rune as well. So it's going to be 3 going towards LGD.
Jin-Q missing the stun.
This Sven is just getting destroyed though. I don't know. Imagine this was the other way around and they swapped the Undying and the Jakiro in the laning stage. It would be completely different. Like, this Jakiro can't offer the same... Oh. Chalice? God.
He might drop. A couple heroes just getting out. Melina as well as the Bloodseeker. Come over for the 6-minute rune. We'll have control. I'll be up towards top, so...
Illusion.
Sardar's like a whole level ahead of the Sven.
They don't leave that for the Venomancer, but that's because he doesn't have a bottle to work with, I assume.
I think he's got Urn coming out in the courier though, so... Oh, this Undying's just TP top. And he
Yeah,
might
might
instantly
be able to
die
help.
here.
I don't know if he instantly dies. Maybe a tombstone goes on the high ground before he ends up going down, but it's on cooldown, so he doesn't have a way to really help out this fight. Faith Beyond, he's getting low. Get the deny on Innocence, but they will lose Faith Beyond, so a good rotation overall from EHOME. And Jinkyu, Poison Nova will leave him at 1.
The only thing I will say is XM got his urn just after everybody died, so it's like, well, I don't get any urn charges, which is a bit rough. For Undying, though, he just used his TP, instantly dies as he comes to this top fight. And Jinkyu would have been the one that died instead of Innocence if he didn't TP, so it's kind of like, well, kind of worth at the same time again then. It's just a little bit awkward. Oh, Royal Jelly for the Morph. And the Magnus. They'll be happy with that one.
Two heroes already having a very good game.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Slithering Crush. Just followed by a Stormhammer, nothing more.
Have they got any ancient stacks? Yeah, okay, so Wyvern's starting to make ancient stacks for the Sven, which is really good. He needs to catch up here. Like, the Sven needs to be playing from in front against the Morph. If the Morph ever is like able to just pull ahead in net worth, then...
And it seems like we've seen a lack of stacks, right? These last 2 games.
Yeah, but I think they've been so invested in the laning stage that not being able to leave the lanes to make stacks makes sense.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Bottom. Chalice at level 6. He's got Rupture to work with. We'll see which lane he wants to attack. There's a couple heroes over mid.
Seeing this Undying Tombstone top as well, just to try and secure the tower.
Dire's
Nothing to say with the DD shows up. It's like, hell yeah.
And it looks like he's gonna grab this tower
top tower is under attack.
pretty early on. Fade comes
can they
over to
get the
maybe
deny?
try and defend, but he won't be able to get the
Dire's top tower
deny.
has fallen.
Now showing himself, Faith Beyond, he's searching. You want something. He ain't gonna get it.
And the question for me is, who's going to start fighting on EHOME? Like, Sven wants to just farm for like 5 minutes, right? And normally what happens when Sven farms is the other heroes just group up and go. I don't know who is going to be able to do that. Like, they can't really run at Morphling. Because he just does
try.
this.
Yeah.
Just waveforms away though, and just morphs to strength, right? Like,
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
this Bloodseeker can try and start ganks with Rupture and that stuff, but again, like, who do they go on?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Ooh,
Radiant's
Ice
structures
Path
are fortified.
missing.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And LGD are gonna come out of this, 10-minute mark with a 3K lead.
Radiant's bottom
More of what we've
Well,
seen from LGD.
It'll be less than that in a second when Sven takes this ancient stack though.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
They get a tower bot as well.
Dire's middle
So,
tower is under attack.
or yeah, like all of a sudden it goes down to a 1k net worth lead. Like, this Sven's doing okay.
Yeah.
That's why these ancient stacks are so big. Just gets you back in the game again.
All of a sudden he's got that Mask of Madness.
He's doing well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
which my matriarch will prize.
Alright, B-Cup, without looking, how close is Slardar to his blink?
600 gold.
Close. Only 300.
Okay.
And imagine a Slardar running at you with a blink at the moment in the game.
Yeah, not
They have the
gonna be
Wyvern
nice.
to like try and make turns, but yeah, it's gonna be wild.
Radiant's middle tower.
He's gonna have this, and then they're just gonna play super aggressive. I wouldn't be surprised if that's like their go mark is getting this blink dagger.
Yeah, because they have blink on the mag as well. So like double blink. Got the big RP that you want to save, but the Slardar can be the one that initiates and not the mag.
There's that blink dagger. He's over towards mid now, and you can see that the rest of the team is. That's where they're posturing.
Yeah, LGD really want to force this mid tier 1 down to like open up the jungle and things, but they don't hit towers massively well. And playing into this like Blood Right and Winter's Curse and everything could be a little bit ropey.
He's got the bash ready to go, and he's got the blink dagger, so they're certainly looking to make a move somewhere. And oh, Fade was looking for the Winter's Curse. Everybody bails.
I thought he was going to use it on the Morphling. Because like if you can
everybody
silence,
there, I'm surprised why not.
If you can silence like during the curse with the Blood Right, then he can't morph when the curse ends. So it should be a relatively easy kill. I like that he's going for Manta first as well on the Morphling. It's a good choice. Not only for the Vessel, like the silence on the Bloodseeker.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I'm surprised this fellow's farming so well too. I thought he didn't have an amazing time mid lane. He did okay, but seems to be doing pretty well. LGD spent a lot of time in the last few minutes trying to play around this mid lane and get the mid tier 1 that they've lost their efficiency a little bit.
Yeah. Sven now sitting top of the net worth. We'll go back to the Ancients. They'll smoke up on LGD. Let's see if they can make anything happen. If they can find the Sven, that would be massive, and they should be able to do so. Wing Southern Crush as well as the RP. They've got the Tombstone down. There's the Laguna Blade to get the kill. Take out one, and I think they're thinking about going under this tier 1 tower and potentially looking for more.
Without the Sven, it's a little bit difficult for EHOME to defend this.
A lot of Atos Blood Right, but not a lot of damage onto the Morphling.
They are going to manage it still, though. Okay. The spam with the Venom and the Bloodseeker seems to be enough.
Are they doing enough here right now? EHOME?
Yeah, I think they're doing okay. I don't know if it's enough, but it's like it's not a one-sided game like what game 1 or game 2 was. It's kind of a little bit more 50-50. I'd still say LGD are favoured. I think this Morphling having a good time eventually just like becomes the biggest hero in the game, especially when the Manta comes up. We yet to really see anything from the Wyvern though with Fade. I think that could be the big turning point for EHOME. This Blink RP comes in, they get a good curse on top just to counter initiate.
Are fortified. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Fade.
First hit bash, and there's a Southern Crush. Fade forced to use the Winter's Curse just to get away from that.
Yeah, it's okay though. He needs to just keep himself alive because he's that split pusher around for EHOME a lot of the time. I'd like to, as soon as they know the curse is down though, this is exactly what happens. They just go into the Roche with this like Slardar Morphling. Even like they don't even have to use the Flesh Golem on the Undying, they just drop the Tombstone. Because they have so much damage amp already with the Slardar, Roche dies anyway.
Dire are scared. Roshan has fallen to the ring.
So grabbing the Aegis. Morphling gets it. They're back up to a 3k lead. Morphling takes over the net worth.
All about the Sven BKB timing though for EHOME. If they can make something happen around that, they'll feel really happy. Obviously it's a little bit different because you're playing against like Mag Slardar this game, so they have BKB piercing skills. But yeah, I think when Sven gets BKB, he'll still be really happy this game though, to like just run at people and go.
Radiant's bottom tower
TP out
is
from
under
Faith
attack.
Beyond as well as Jinkyu. Potentially a fight about to break out over bottom.
Max TPing to the outpost
Magnus,
as well.
yeah, he's gonna TP to the outpost. They've got the Slytherin Crush. They use the RP that's out of the Venomancer. Magpire down. X Nova trying to survive LSA. Poison Nova comes out. They've got the Winter's Curse. That locks up 2, but they get the kill on the Chalice as well as XM. And now the problem is, how many are EHOME gonna survive with in general? They look over at Fade, and it looks like it'll be a 4th. The only one alive is the Sven.
Yeah, but the Undying got killed, so well. Yeah, that was rough. Like really good RP by Magnus though to like find the Venom in the fight. That's the hero that you need to get so that this constant poke damage stops coming through. If Sven has like BKB for example, though the fight's different, right? But they need the Sven to just not join fights like this until he has it. But yeah, Faithbian, nothing to say. Control that fight really well between the two of them. I think Innocence as well with the Tombstone. Obviously the Flesh Golem helped, but I'd like to see that he's going Pipe as well on Innocence this game. Against the Venom, has a lot of value.
But it's going to be a long ways till he gets there.
I feel like when we've seen XM play Venom before, he hits this point in his game here where he feels really underwhelming. But then if he gets to like 35 minutes, I feel like he always does incredibly well.
And what's the mid part of that? Like, why is that happening?
BKBs, I guess, play a big part of it.
All right, Mr. Logical.
I'm not 100% sure. Like, I think Veno with levels, the talents are really good, which always helps. I think when you get your level 20, especially, the Poison Nova does so much damage. And we've seen it before, that even if the other team wins fights, as long as the Poison Nova goes down, a lot of the time they can't push afterwards. Or they see Faithbian. It's too late, though.
5k lead. LGD kind of slowing this game down a little bit.
Yeah, but they're okay with that. They have the Aegis, like, yeah, they can start trying to force down towers if they can, but playing into this curse and stuff still isn't massively easy. I think they just keep the Morphling farming. They'll be happy. Is there any item timings they're waiting for as well? I guess Mag BKB is pretty big. Slardar Ags.
Chalice going down to Ame, though.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Can they get
Innocence?
Innocence? If he shows up behind him, they've got the Tombstone to work with, and there's just no way for him to get out of that one.
Yeah, DD on the Mag with an Imp Claw just hits for 600 on his first hit. Good, good. And again, I don't know, the Wyvern's the one for me that we still really haven't seen anything out of.
No, only one Winter's Curse, and it wasn't exactly, or like one or two, and they haven't exactly been amazing. Those Stormhammers, Southern Crush coming through, RP on a 2. They've got the Winter's Curse onto the Magnus. As for 3C pops the War Cry, they've got the God Strength with the BKB. Nothing to say, trying to fight this, skewers away. They got the Deny on the Innocence, as now the Rupture comes out on the Sarda. Southern Crush as well as the LSA is there. Nothing to say, ends up dead. 2 for, oh, so far.
Oh god, this Morphing's just destroying the Sven.
Yeah, Adaptive Strike kills them off. Laguna Blade used. Chalice is dead. 2 heroes gone, and they might be able to clean up the rest. They're going to look over the Jakiro as well as the Venomancer. He morphs into the Venomancer, uses the Venomous Gale, and now they'll finish off X Nova and focus their attention on a Fate. Southern Crush misses, but now Fate goes into the trees. Arctic Burn, Faith Beyond looking like he is going to survive, but the Cold Embrace not going to be used, as there's the Adaptive Strike from Ame to get the kill on a Fate.
I mean, if the Sven gets the BKB like 2 or 3 minutes ago, right? Say if he's having a better game, that fight's fine, but he uses his whole like God Strength and BKB duration to run down the Magnus, who's managed to skewer away to make it a little bit more difficult for him. So the Mag ends up dying, but he's kind of done his job already. And then Starlight gets the Corrosive Haze on him, and without any armor items, he just gets torn to pieces by this Morphling.
Is under attack.
So that big BKB reveal on the Sven kind of not really achieving anything for EHOME. I think it sets them back massively. Like, they need to try and win that huge fight there with the first BKB timing. And now I always feel like the Sven's always going to be behind this Morphling. I don't think there's going to be another point in the game where he pulls ahead.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Scardy.
Yeah.
Don't mind if I do.
Venom Scale cooldown -6.
Here's a blink. Okay. 1XM.
Thought maybe that you could see the Sven kind of come back into this one, but it's not looking likely in terms of net worth at the moment. But one fight is all it takes.
Yeah, you're right. Like one fight, and then all of a sudden he's kind of like level with the Morphling, but it has to be a fight and not like a pick-off, right? That's the big thing.
Yeah,
And I don't know if they can win a big
innocents
5-on-5
right now.
fight at the moment. It's tough.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And they're making this move. They're coming down bottom. They're getting themselves one kill and trying for a tower.
Radiant structures are fortified.
But there's the glyph, and all the while Morphling as well as the Lina and you know others are just able to farm up.
Yeah, I mean, they know that if EHOME want to go for this bot tier 2, they're going to trade, because the Morph's probably going to take the tier 2 mid, and Lina can start hitting this tier 2 top. They're kind of just trading even.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Lina destroying the trees already as well, so that there's nobody that can TP in and stop this.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Now he's got the Ags on the sword. Our startup's doing so well.
Yeah, this axe is really good as well. For you guys that don't know, it makes like a puddle around you on Crush, and it gives you so many like extra bonuses. It's like armor, status resistance, HP regen. It's crazy. Like it does such a huge amount for like
Dire's
it's
top
just
tower
one item.
is under attack.
Gives you everything.
Smoke coming out from LGD.
Oh, I thought it was only in the puddle. I didn't realize it was in the river as well. Cool. A whole Bloodseeker. Oh, buddy.
Wing Southern Crush, and it'll be a quick kill onto the Bloodseeker. Yeah, it's anytime he's on water, so when he gets that pool under from the Slithering Crush inside the river on top of your opponent's tiers.
Does that mean if you do like the underwater river, like the map thing, then you'll just always have the buff?
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
Pay to win.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower.
Oh, X-Nova.
Yeah, he's just getting caught out, and Faith Beyond's
And
having such a game right now.
You can say they instantly TP bot on the Lina to push the wave out, because they want to try and make a move as quickly as possible here, because the Roche has spawned, so they need to get bot lane out as quickly as possible so they can then move to the top side of the map. I don't know, EHOME, it feels like they're kind of just like falling further and further behind, like we said. This Morphing's become this crazy hero that, with the really high armor he has, like naturally, the Sven with the physical damage isn't going to do enough to him. So it's like, who's going to be dealing the damage to kill the Morphling at this point?
Right.
What's it going to be, like a Veno?
Not likely.
Fade's in trouble.
And Fade's the one who's in trouble. The RP comes out. That's onto the Sven as well as the Bloodseeker. This is a fight that might just seal the deal. And yeah, it does. So LGD, they take the 2-1 and they move on to the upper bracket final.
I think XM tried to blink there and use Poison Nova. Get some damage stats, you know, didn't think he was going to die. He's like, oh, damn, never mind.
I guess I have.
Oh, it's a shame. They started this game really well, but the bot lane was really poor for EHOME this time. I mean, the good and the bad of the Bloodseeker get shown across 2 games in a row here.
Yeah. 0-5-0. Oof.
Yeah, and again, this Wyvern, we didn't really feel any game impact from either. I think the Jakiro, like some of the ice paths were nice, but they never really tried to make plays on the map happen, it felt EHOME. Like, their heroes are quite static in general. Like, there's no, like, Quap or Void Spirit that plays the map really quickly, or like this Lesh. Kind of like Bloodseeker sits in a lane, does his thing, Veno sits in a lane and does his thing. Like, they push lanes out. But they never really... They can't actively make plays, it feels like, unless they smoke early on in this game. So, unfortunate for EHOME, but I think LGD definitely the better team.